We we got to see the Chargers play the Dallas Cowboys, and there was some things that kind of got out of the game that really really kind of opened my eyes. Probably maybe the coaches too, special teams. Whew. Um, Hopefully that can be fixed. But boy, they've got some work to do. Staley's got a lot of work to do with them with the special teams. Giving up a touchdown on the kickoff, giving up a touchdown on a punt. Just not looking good. Um, there was some things though to take from the game. If you wanted to be on the positive side, um, Bandy, wide receiver, he is looking really good, and I don't see how they can. I mean, if he does this in the last game, I don't see how you can not keep him on the team. Um, you'll have to make room for him somewhere. He's too valuable. Um, the kid gets open all the time. Whenever you need a play, he's open. Um, and he's been doing it now for the last 2 games on a consistent basis. The guy kid looks good. He looks really good. Um, there's a few others that I wrote down that I thought were kind of notable. Right tackle hasn't really been showing anything. Um, I don't see how we can make a real determination yet. Looks like it's going to come down to that last game. Um, Norton and Pipkins both. Um, they can both look good. They can both look bad. I mean, it's kind of strange, but that seems to be the way it's going. Had a little scare in the game. Um, According to Staley, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a major injury, but Isaiah Spiller, I guess, twisted his left ankle, and that's what it looked like on the play. And according to Staley, it's not as a huge problem as at first it looked. Boy, it was kind of scary. Um, but but that's a good thing. Hopefully he'll be just fine. Maybe even hold him out of the last game, the last preseason game. I would. He's making the team. He's good enough. He'll make the team. He could be the third string running back. Um, I think Roundtree. My personal opinion, I think I'd let Roundtree go so I could have a roster spot open. Um, I like Roundtree. I think he's a good kid, but a good young man, I should say. But he's just not able to get it together in this system, and maybe it's the system for him. I don't know, but he's having a really rough time, and not entirely all his fault. The offensive line really couldn't open up holes for anybody in this last game against Dallas. Um, the big plays came through the air, and it was almost throw it up and hope they catch it type plays. Uh, you got Palmer looking really good. He don't even need to play in the last game. I would make sure he doesn't because I wouldn't want him hurt. Um, he looks like your solid number 3 wide receiver. Um, he's definitely got it together. He's done some good work over the summer. Uh, I don't think I would take a chance on that, but we'll see. We'll see what this last game holds. I mean, I would put everybody out there that I had a question about. You don't care about winning and losing. I mean, that's obvious. The game don't really mean nothing on the win or loss record, but it does mean a little bit when you're talking about these guys' confidence. And if you can build up a little bit of confidence in somebody that you're wanting to keep, then maybe you either play them or don't play them. If it's if and that could be on the brighter side also on some of these guys. Um, if you don't play him, maybe it builds his confidence up. Hey, I've made it, type of thing. If you do play him a lot. Let him get all he can get out of it. Hopefully, the line will block a little better. Maybe use him on some screens or short passes. Get him more involved if it's a running back. If it's a lineman, you know, hopefully he'll have a good game. If it's somebody you're really wanting to keep, if the defense the defense has a couple of issues. It's really starting to show its ugly head, and one of them is tackling. These guys gotta wrap up. They have to wrap up, or they're gonna end up, um, they make a good play, they'll hit a guy, or they'll be right there to make the play, and they'll miss the tackle, or they slide off the tackle. The running back does, and so they'll have rather than a 4 or 5, which happened, I think, about 3 times, 3 or 4 times, maybe 3 times, not 4 times, about 3 times in the Dallas game. It happened a lot in the first game that they had. That was it was not good. When you looked at the Rams game, um, there was constant, I mean, hitting hard, good hitting, very hard hitting, plays, uh, from the players, and you could almost go down the line of any of them that played. Um, they couldn't get them. They couldn't wrap up, so it's killing them. And the worst thing out of everything was special teams. Special teams was the worst of the bunch. The defense finally did kind of figure it out a little bit and slowed the running attack down of Dallas. They looked better in the LA game also in the second half. But, boy, I'll tell you something. There's a few players like Rump. Rump was really good. He looks I don't see him having to play anymore in the preseason. He's ready to go. He's put on some weight. He's got himself ready to go. Kelly, um, I think Kelly is probably the number 2 back. He has definitely looked a lot better this year, and he's looked a lot better in this preseason. So, and Spiller, I like Spiller. I think Spiller's gonna be really good. Um, I wouldn't take any more chances with his ankle. I think he should be on the team. He should make it. Um, another player that I really liked in the Ram game, didn't get to see much of him in the Dallas game, was Horvath, and I believe Horvath could be your number 4 running back, not just a fullback. He could actually run the ball, and I would like to see him have more chances. Put him out there. Why not? Put him and um, Roundtree out there, and let him play. Let him run the ball. Um, the quarterback situation is, if we don't have Herbert, we're done. It's that simple. We got to have Herbert. It's just that's why he's not playing. So in the preseason. So got to keep him healthy. Got to keep him upright. And I think we're gonna be okay. Um, I do believe that Zion Johnson is going to be a real benefit for the Chargers. He looks good. I do think that uh, Sawyer is going to be another one that's going to make the team. It's going to, and he looks good. He looks strong. He got beat a few times in the Dallas game, but man, everybody got. It was it was a free for all almost on that offensive line. Nobody could stop anybody. The quarterbacks were under a pressure almost every play, and so they've got to figure out the guys they want to keep, the guys they're going to let go. Um, on defense, Graziano had, I believe he had a sack, so he looks pretty good. Um, his experience being around the team a couple of years now is starting to show up a little bit. He's looking fairly decent. Um, but Bandy, boy, ooh, he is he is awesome. That kid that kid has definitely earned his way in to me, the number 3 or number 4, or 5, not 3, 4 or 5 wide receiver. He's that good. I believe he could you could play him a little bit in every game. Spill, take a little bit of rest off of one of the other guys. He's small. He's not gonna be a huge target, but he finds a way to get open, and that's a big deal. Getting open is a huge deal, and we know that Herbert can throw, the ball very accurately. So, if he is able to play and if they use him on a third down situation, something like that, multiple, wide receivers set, um, I wouldn't mind seeing him out there. I mean, he's kinda proven that he can do it. So, why not? He's pretty quick, and he reminds me, um, of the Raiders wide receiver. Shoot, I can't think of his name right now. His name escapes me. But anyway, um, he reminds me of him because he's able to get open all the time. His he's very aware of the lanes. He'll give the quarterback a lane, a clear lane to throw to. It may not be huge, but he'll give you a lane. You gotta be quick. So and we know that Herbert can do that. So anyway, it's just another player that I would keep if from what I've seen. Um, Penalties, not so bad this time. It was horrible in the Ram game. Not so bad against Dallas. There was some penalties, but not nothing as flagrant. Dean Leonard, I believe, should have probably made a tackle on that punt return for a touchdown, but he backed off. He didn't want to hit him too soon, and what it did was it allowed the guy to catch the ball and make a move, and Leonard just totally missed him. So and off to the races the guy went. But so that was a close call. He probably if he wouldn't have thought of in the back of his mind, I know it was going through his mind. Don't hit him too soon. Don't hit him too soon. And so he backed off a little bit. It was a little too much. Um, that didn't bother me. At least he was down there to try to make the tackle. I don't think anybody else touched that guy for Dallas from Dallas. Um, he ran what 86 yards or something like that on the punt return, and I don't even think he was touched. It was bad, not a little bad. It was really bad. Um, so Staley's got some real work to do, and hopefully he'll figure it out. He's running out of time. Time is really not on his side now. He's got to get this team prepared, special teams prepared for the regular season. And he better get them to where they're wrapping up and staying in their lanes and getting off of blocks. I don't know what the heck's going on, but um, I know they're not able to practice like they used to. Um, that's probably really hurting the team. However, other teams are doing it. I don't see every other special teams in playing this bad. So it's not just I mean, you could use that as an excuse. Well, everybody would have that excuse. Well, I don't see every team having 2 or 3 touchdowns against them per game against their special teams. So, I believe that they're gonna have to get it together, and they're gonna have to put the guys in. I Staley was upset with it. He should be. He was very upset with it, and he flat said, "Hey, uh, the NFL is watching you. we're watching the NFL. If you can't play, you know, the way we need you to play, we'll get somebody who will. I get it. Hopefully they get it. I don't know. I don't know if the talent is the problem. I don't know if the experience is the problem. That's coaching. Um, Coaches are going to have to figure that out. They're going to be looking at the tape. I've looked at it twice, and I it looked bad. People not, the players not getting off their blocks, um, allowing the offensive player to grab a hold of them and hold them. You can't do that. You got to be moving, and you got to stay in your lane enough to where if that player comes to you, you can at least slow him down. They weren't even doing that. That guy was just, making moves, zigzagging a little bit and gone. So they can't. There's um, so many teams have real high, you know, talented receivers that are getting the kickoffs and the punts. You better be able to stay. You know, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't. I wish I did, but it don't look good. Um, they need to stay in their lanes. They need to wrap up when they tackle. This is very disappointing, and I think Staley was disappointed. There's a game that they have left. They've got another game, and then they've got another extra week. They can actually figure this stuff out. But man, I would put some time into it, and I imagine he will. I imagine he will. Um, you can't afford to put your first string players in there, um, to in a preseason game. You don't want them hurt in a game that don't mean anything. However, in order to see if it's going to work, they may have to do something. I don't know. Um, it's kind of a real bad situation that they're in, with that with their special teams unit, um, and it's been this way for years. The Chargers special teams unit has not been good for a long time. So, and it looks to me this year it's as bad as it's ever been. So, don't know what to think. Hopefully, I mean the kicking unit, the field goals, the kickoffs from the kicker. The punter is doing a really good job on the punt return for a touchdown. That was a good punt. He didn't outkick the coverage. He kicked a pretty good punt right down the middle of the field. Matter of fact, yeah, it was right about the middle of the field. And so, if you look at what the specialty player is doing, he seems to be doing his job. I didn't see anything wrong with what he was doing. I didn't see anything wrong with the punts. I didn't see anything wrong with the kickoffs. Maybe a little bit deeper kickoff. Don't let them run it out of the end zone. And put it deep in the end zone. Maybe, I don't know. Um, there's different ways to look at that. But the players that are running down there to make the tackle, to try to you know pin them deep, or just keep them from returning it for a long gainer. These guys going to have to learn. They got to stay in their lane. They have to wrap up. You can't just hit a guy and think he's going to fall down. Now, they did that in the Ram game. It was really bad, really bad. I mean, they were hitting hard, good hard hits, but they weren't wrapping up. They'd hit the guy, and he'd bounce off, get his balance back, and he'd be gone. Take off, gain about 10, 15 yards. So that kind of play comes back to bite you. They can make a fantastic play, almost a tackle for a loss, because they didn't wrap up. The guy gains another 10, 15 yards. So it was kind of a mixed bag again, in the preseason. remember, and I got to keep telling myself this, these are not the starters. This isn't your first string that you're seeing. So you're having to take kind of pick and choose guys out of that group that you want to be on your team um, through the season. Who's going to make the team? Who's not going to make the team? Um, Spiller, hopefully he'll be fine with his ankle. That was kind of encouraging what Coach Staley had to say about it. I thought that was I thought that was good. So I haven't heard and I haven't seen of injuries being an issue this year so far, knock on wood. But we do have some decisions to make as far as we they Coach Staley has some decisions to make. He's going to have to decide whether he wants to keep Roundtree, whether he wants to, just maybe I don't know, go ahead and keep him. I mean, he's not really against the cap. He's not really going to hurt anything as far one way or the other, as far as as far as I know. It's just that it's another position that's going to keep you from having a roster spot that you might want to use for somebody that is really kind of special, somebody that is kind of that can use a, a roster spot and make a difference on the team. Maybe Bandy, I don't know, just a thought. But I'm hoping that this last game we get to see Horvath. I don't know if I'd even play Murray. I mean Murray, not Murray. Kelly. I'm sorry, I had Murray on the brain. I'm hoping to see Murray before this game, but I don't think we're going to. Kenneth Murray is probably still going to be out, but hopefully he'll be back. Maybe he could just, um, slowly start practicing with the team. We're gonna need him. It's definitely looking that way. Hopefully he'll be back. Anyway, Tillery, I didn't see much in Tillery. I watched and he was, this is a funny thing about Tillery. I saw him one play. He made it. He fought through two blockers and helped make the tackle. Tackles, gained the guy, the player gained like 3 or 4 yards. Wasn't a great play, but it was a good play. You saw the effort. Turn right around, and I saw Tillery get totally washed out of the play. I mean, by one guy that hasn't been, in the NFL for very long, like 2 games. So I don't know. It's Tillery's a real. I can't figure him out. Um, One minute he looks good, next minute not so good. One minute he looks great, next minute he looks terrible. I have no idea. Chris Rump, different story. Chris Rump's ready to go. I think Chris Rump he's about as solid as you can have him, and he's just going to get better. But he's very solid. Definitely no problem in keeping him around. I'd get him. Man, I don't even think I'd play him the last game. Let somebody else play. Let these guys that want to make the team play. But I mean, that's just me. Michael Davis, uh, his name wasn't really mentioned much in the Dallas game, um, and mainly because they ran the ball. They ran the ball a lot. They didn't gain a lot per play. I mean, Staley had brought that up. They weren't making a lot of yards on the ground, but it was consistently enough that you go for it on fourth down, and you keep on going, and you score a touchdown. I think they threw one pass on one of their scoring drives and ran the ball 7 times or 6 times. So, again, these aren't the starters, but those weren't the starters for Dallas either. So, you got to put everything in context, but you also got to realize there's a little bit of an issue here that I hope the starters, if they can stay healthy, can nullify. They can clean it up. Um, I don't know how they're gonna do the special teams issues. because there's a lot of special teams issues. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, um, all right. Next week I'll be talking to about the Saints game. Hopefully, we'll have a little more info from Staley on the progress of Kenneth Murray and Spiller. Hopefully, he's not injured, um, and or long term injury. Maybe it was just a twist of an ankle. Hopefully, that's all, and he'll be fine. Um, and then we'll see where we're at, and hopefully the Chargers can figure this out because right now they've got a glaring problem. Special teams is a glaring problem, and that's again, it's just preseason, but they got to figure it out. They have to figure it out. So anyway, Bolt fans, hopefully don't get too down. Yeah, like I said, it's preseason, but and we got one preseason game left. Maybe they'll get things straightened out, get the players in the right position they need to be in, put the right players out there to begin with. Maybe it'll be all all just fine. We'll see. Um, hopefully, we're going to start seeing a big turnaround here this week, starting this week. I know that Staley has put everybody on notice. He's a little tired of it. It's more of an embarrassment, I think, to him. He wants these guys playing at a certain level and technique that he believes they should be able to do. Now they got to do it, and hopefully they will for him. So you guys enjoy the week, and hopefully we'll have some good news toward the end of the week and a very good game on Friday. So till then, and I'll probably be talking to you on. I want to try to have another one on Thursday or Friday. So maybe the on Friday because we should know a little bit more about the players and who's going to be starting, who's not going to be starting, who's going to play. Maybe Kenneth Murray will be back. He probably won't play, but maybe he'll be back. Maybe we'll get some more info on the team. Okay, guys. Well, you have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. Push that like button and go Bolts. We need you to kind of get it together. Wrap it up. Just wrap it. Wrap it. When you hit, wrap